Hey guys, so we are on day four of our coverage of the MerryMart IPO. And as what I said on the previous videos, that it cannot go up forever, that there will come a point in time that people, investors that came in early will have to sell. And that's what we saw today. We saw MM drop 18.4% on the backs of heavy selling. And we even saw it intraday hit 4.5 pesos per share only to drop lower. So please remember that it hit 3.25 on its closing yesterday. So close today at 2.75. Because of that, we're seeing it move at a much lower pace than where it was yesterday. So I hope that as we go through this, it helps you guys get the right information in terms of how you analyze the stock. Because at the end of the day, the whole goal of us covering it is to help you analyze it and know the details, the numbers, the right information, so you can decide based on what we see and not based on either hope that it goes up or just trying to ride whatever news that's there. Because at the end of the day, you've tried to trade or invest on something that you can build a plan on and build a strategy on. So, fourth day, Mary Mart down. By the way, my name is Marvin Gurman. I'm a stock market trader and investor, and I create daily videos like this with one goal to be able to educate you and give you as much information about investing in the markets as possible because it can be done regardless if you are a busy entrepreneur, you're a professional, you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, you're an accountant, you're a stay-at-home mom, you're an OFW, you're a student. You can find a way. You can find a way in the stock market that works with your lifestyle, that works with your schedule, that works with your risk tolerances. And that's the whole goal and the whole crux of why I've been creating videos like this. So if you want videos like this, not stock tips, not stock picks, but stock analysis, but me teaching you how you can do it right, me showing you that you don't have to rely on what your friend says, but you can decide it on your own. Because at the end of the day, competence breeds confidence that as you start studying it on your own, you will have the right foundation for you to be able to do it repeatedly over a long period of time. So if you like stuff like this, appreciate it if you can like, subscribe, and smash the bell so you get updated every time I come up with new content about investing. Now, for those, by the way, who want to see the fundamentals of the company, and all of the other details prior to the IPO and all of the other videos prior to this. I'll put the link in the description below for the entire playlist tracking the entire MerryMart IPO. Anyways, this is what we will discuss in today's podcast. And I don't know if you like it like this, where I lay out the topics already so that you have an expectation where we are and so that you know also what's gonna happen throughout the video. So comment below if you like this format. I started doing this I think yesterday. So as you see, there's three segments in my entire podcast for Marvin Gurmo. Number one is where I interview people. Number two, when it's just me like this, similar to it looks like a webinar format. Number three, it's vlog style where I'm walking and then you see a lot of graphics moving in. So if you like more of this, comment below, and then we'll just do as much as we can so that it gives you it. I just want to make education. I just want to make finance not as boring to a lot of people so that it caters to a broad range because as you all know, Filipinos love to be entertained more than to be educated, and I'm trying to bridge the gap where it doesn't become boring, where finance is something that's interesting to all of you. Now this is what we're going to talk about. As you all know, every day we're going to talk about the technicals because I love charts more. I'm a technical person, but at the end of the day, you're not just investing. When the difference between the stock market and Bitcoin and Forex is you're not buying just a price, you're buying a company. And that's why we talk a lot about in this channel about fundamentals. And now we're going to talk about, continue to talk about valuations. The number three, the price action, what happened throughout the day. And I think number four, which is very, very relevant to majority of you, what should you do now? If you own the stock, what's your course of action? Should you sell? Should you hold? Or should you buy some more? Or if you have cash, what should you do? should you avoid it first? Or since you have cash, is this one of the best times to buy since it has dropped already from its previous price? And I think one of the biggest fears of a lot of people is at 275, will it go lower? At 275, is this the chance for me to buy because it started to dip lower? At the end of the day, this no one has a crystal ball. Also, before I continue with the slides, no one has a crystal ball on where the market is, where it will go, how it will move on a minute per minute basis, how it will move on an hourly basis, or on a daily basis, or where it will be a year from now, where it will be 2 years from now, or where it will be 10 years from now. No one knows. No one even knew that we would have a pandemic, a lockdown in 2020. No one could have predicted that. And no one could have predicted that even if there's a lockdown, even if there's a pandemic, you would see Facebook stock move in all-time highs. You would see Facebook stock go up higher than where it was before. Because at the end of the day, no one can predict where the market is. And the reason why I'm sharing videos to you on a daily basis, because it's about you creating a framework where you could buy and sell based on risk and reward. That if a trade or an investment is not favorable for you anymore, you get out of that position. Or if your parameters have been hit, you get out of that position. Or for the flip side, if your parameters to come in, get in, buy, have been hit, then you start coming in and you start buying. It's never about predicting, it's never about forecasting, but it's all about risk and reward and how you manage your money on top of all of it. Now let's begin. Comment below if you're learning, comment below if you're excited for all of this. So I started all of my videos comparing this to stocks that have moved up. And I've been showing this to you. This is the fourth day now that I'm doing this. So I showed you Double Dragon KPPI. So Double Dragon, as you notice, this is the 4-day progression. Green candle, then two indecision candles. KPPI, open, hard close, up, then second and third day, open, hard close, up. And what we've seen from Double Dragon and KPPI is basically on the fourth day, for Double Dragon, it moved sideways. It started to move sideways. For KPPI, we had a large sell down. And for MM, on the fourth day, we also had a large sell down. This is how the chart looks like right now. As you can see, first day opened at its highest point, lower retracement on the first day, but it closed the same price as what it opened. It closed at a ceiling still. Second day, gap up, opened lower, closed higher, short retracement, because some profit taking, but it's still closed much higher. It's still closed at the ceiling point. Third day, same thing. Opened at the ceiling, close to the ceiling, then there was a bit of selling. Then as there was a bit of selling, boom, it went back again, and it closed also at the ceiling point. As you notice it, there's a gap up in the first day, the second day, and the third day. Now, fourth day, as what I've mentioned in the previous slides, for DD, it moved sideways. The fourth day, confirmation that it was moving sideways. For Kepwell, there was a large sell down. For MerryMart, this is where also the large sell down happened. But if you notice it, they look different, no? For the very reason that for Kepwell, it hit an intraday high, then it went much, much lower than the opening price. For MerryMart, the opening price was the highest, and I'll show you later the distribution of it. The opening price was the highest. Then you saw a large slew of selling, causing it to go much, much, much lower than the highest price for the day and the opening price. Hence, our very, very, very first large candle. And what I wanted to show also to all of you is this. You remember the previous video where I talked a lot about volume. And for those who have attended our Stock Smart sessions, I heavily talk about volume because volume is so important, because technical analysis is not just about past prices, it's also about past prices and volume. And you need to know how to work with both for you to be able to analyze it properly. Prices are good, but volume also tells you the amount of conviction there is in terms of people who want to buy and sell the stock. So this is the volume. As you can see, from the first day, from the IPO day, boom, that was the largest volume. Second day, it started to go down. Third day, it started to go down. As you notice it, you see volume already start to wane. And as what I said also, one indication that there may be, you can check the video yesterday about this, one indication that there may be people already hesitating is that the volume starts to go down. And as you can see here, the price started to go up, but the volume was already going down. And for those, just check for those who attended our stock smart sessions, check your handouts on volume. Check that price is going up, volume is going down. How you interpret that? How could that work as a reversal also for you? But anyways, fourth day, large volume, large candle, not just a large candle, but a large volatile candle going down. Meaning, a lot of people who were there earlier, either day one, day two, day three, or they subscribed prior to the listing date, took profits. And here's the thing, you can't blame people for taking profits because at the end of the day, when you go into the stock market, it's all about making money. Meaning, no one goes into the stock market that they just want to do it for fun. Of course, it's fun, but at the end of the day, the goal of everyone who goes into the market is at some point they will have to take profits. So you can't blame, regardless of who they are, if they're retailers, institutions, locals, foreign, it doesn't matter. Their end goal is also they bought it at a certain price, they will also exit at a certain price. Of course, those who bought at 1 peso, if you put it and you analyze it, guys, yung tumunog na Shopee, as you all know, pag may Shopee, that's my wife. That's my wife's phone again. That's my wife's phone again. Pag may Shopee. Anyways, those who bought at 1, think about it. Stock hits 4.5 intraday. They bought at 1. They bought at 1.5. They bought at 2.25. They bought at 3.25. And then already knowing that valuations wise, it's already expensive. People will have an exit plan, especially when they think it's expensive, especially when they think that their whole narrative into all of this is just to sell. So that being said, when all is said and done, some of them had their prices hit that they wanted to exit at this price. When everyone who bought earlier exits, when everyone who bought earlier sells, that's what you will see. More sellers bring the prices down. But it just gets accelerated because there's already an expectation. Even if you look at the comment section from yesterday, a lot of people were already saying that it may go down already because a lot of people bought or a lot of people may take profits. People who have been saying already it's a fourth day, ganun nangyari sa KPPI. So there was an expectation already that some people already wanted to go out. And the next thing I'd like to note there is this. You have to note that there are people who bought at a higher price. So when people start to take profits, more sellers bring the prices down. But when people who bought higher want to escape, same thing. More sellers bring the prices down. When they meet, it sort of accelerates the selling. And that's why there is a movement from 4.5 to its closing at 2.75. Now, let's continue. I hope you guys are learning, but this is us trying to go through the nitty-gritty and all of this. And I don't know, I just wanted to share, this goes beyond just technical analysis. This is basically us analyzing it together because at the end of the day, that's how you win it. You win by studying, analyzing it, building a strategy. And for those who are making money off of this or who made money off of this, congratulations. For those who lost money, what's the lesson there? What are the things that you need to learn off of it? For those who stayed away and was not able to participate, what's also the lesson from all of this? Anyways, let's continue. This is, by the way, the daily chart. So as you can see, daily chart, 4 candlesticks because only 4 days. This is the 15-minute chart. So this entire portion, day 1, this entire portion, day 2, this entire portion, day 3, and this entire portion, day 4. So if you notice it, first 3 days, not much volatility, meaning moves up, then stays flat, ceiling. Second day, moves up, stays flat, ceiling. Third day, moves up, retraces a bit, then goes up again, ceiling, stays flat. Fourth day, 4.5. First 15 minutes was where the volatility was where the volatility was, and that's where the largest amount of volume was also seen. If you've been following my videos, I would always say that in the last few minutes before the close, that's where the large volume would be. In the first few minutes, that's where volatility is. At the end, that's where volume is. But for MerryMart, day 4, it's different. Why? Large volatility accompanied by large amounts of volume, meaning everything that we saw here happened in the first 15 minutes. I repeat, the large move that we saw here, majority of it happened in the first 15 minutes. Open at 4.5, hit close to 2.75, and then it just oscillated and moved sideways from 9:45 all the way to 1 o'clock. And by the way, no, I just wanted to note this. Since 2011, the PSE has been moving from 9:30 to 3:30. I think this shortened trading hour works because it allows all of us that after 1 o'clock you get to do other things. And I think the volumes are there. I've seen days where the value turnover naman hit 7 billion. So this is ano na nga lang, this will be harder for people Filipinos who are in the Middle East because 1 o'clock is okay naman 9 a.m. It's okay. 8 a.m., 9 a.m. for people in Saudi, Qatar, and Dubai. This will be harder, I guess, for people who are from Europe because the trading hours will be different. For people in the States, okay lang because it's around 9 p.m., 6 p.m., depending on what coast they are in. But this will be harder to trade for people who are in Europe. But let's continue. So, intraday, large drop, first 15 minutes, then it moves sideways. Then, if you look at it, volume already started to dissipate, meaning those that wanted to get out, they got out. They transacted in the first 15 minutes already, and I'll show you how big the volume is now. And it's something that's so interesting. Anyways, comment below if you guys are learning. But I mentioned it a while ago that this is predicated also on valuations, that when people think it's expensive, to begin with already, I showed you at the start naman that it was already expensive, but there were just people who were willing to buy it higher. But it can only go as high as it can because the more expensive it is, it causes investors to kind of stay away because they don't want to buy something at a much higher price. So just an update on its valuations. As you all know, at the 1 peso IPO price, given the EPS of 0.046, the PE is at 216 times or 216x, dropping at 2.75 pesos a share, assuming it's still the same EPS. The PE is at 598 times or 598x. So it's still, from a valuation standpoint, relatively more expensive. But true enough, no, what's high, what's expensive can even get more expensive, and that's what we saw from the IPO price to here, or even to the price yesterday. Please remember, given the EPS of 0.046, the PE ratio yesterday was around 700 plus already. So it doesn't mean that it's expensive. It can't even get more expensive, because if it's expensive but more people buy, it's traders, investors who control the price movement, that even if it's more expensive, but if they still buy, if they still come into it, they go into the position, even if it looks more expensive, it will still go up. As what I've said in the previous videos, more buyers bring the prices up, more sellers bring the prices down. And in this occasion, all the way to yesterday, even if it was more expensive, more people were willing to buy it. So now, it dropped from where it was yesterday to where it is today. From a PE ratio standpoint only, again, there's so many valuation models. Even if the stock has dropped, and even though it's at 2.75, from a PE perspective, it looks relatively more expensive. And even still, if you compare it, as what I've mentioned, I'll keep this slide on, but over and over, that up against Pure Gold, up against Robinsons, up against Metro Gaisano, up against 7-Eleven, arguably companies in almost the same field, category, industry that they're in, supermarkets, groceries, convenience stores, MerryMart looks still, even though it's at 2.75 pesos per share, even though it has dropped from yesterday, looks relatively expensive. So I'll keep the slide on over and over so that we have at least a comparison. No, by the way, if you're asking why did Pure Gold, Robinson's Retail Metro, and 7-Eleven, they're the same as yesterday, I didn't update them. It's just really just to show that it's still a great way off from where MerryMart is. So if you still like this series, no, I'll keep on doing this MerryMart IPO series up until you guys want it. But if you guys want me to make another update for Friday, put them in the comment section. And then second one is, if you guys have questions on top of it, just put them below and I'll try to make more videos for you guys. So let's continue. Comment if you're learning. Now, price action. This is the 4-day price action movement of MerryMart. So the first column is day 1, second column day 2, third column day 3, fourth column day 4. First day 1.5 closing, second day 2.25 closing, third day 3.37 closing, fourth day 2.75 closing. Anyways, let's continue. If you notice it, a couple of things that I'd like to share to you. Number 1, foreigners transacted more today. If you notice it, for the previous 3 days, foreigners did not transact this much. Foreign selling on the second day was only 2 million. Foreign selling on the third day was only 4 million. Foreign selling today was 71 million with a net foreign selling of 48 million pesos. What does that mean? It means foreigners who came in even prior to the IPO exited to the tune of 71 million, selling net 48 million. Next, locals. If you notice it, the large chunk of the transaction still is locally driven. And I've been saying that since day 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is a local play. You're not seeing foreign institutions dabble into this. And I think one of the reasons why is it's not really big. And I've said this, that foreign funds need large floats so that they can easily exit. But for this one, it's small. Now, local buying, 1.6 billion. Local selling, 1.5 billion. If you notice it, day 1, majority of the buying was only around 300 million. Day 2, around 300 million also. Day 3, around 300 million. This one is 1.6 billion in buying, 1.5 billion in selling. So there could have been people who bought day 1, day 2, day 3 that exited, because there has to be people to sell. And please remember, I'll reiterate this. The largest chunk of the transaction happened in the first 15 minutes. I repeat, the largest chunk of the transaction happened in the first 15 minutes. So whatever that was sold, most likely were from movements day 3, day 2, day 1, or those that got prior to the IPO. So it was a large exit from people who listed before the IPO, people who bought during day 1, day 2, day 3. So I hope you're getting this, and I hope this is something that's helping me to give you an idea also of what's happening, to give you an idea of what brought the prices down, what brought the shares down, what caused markets to go down. And again, it's okay, it's normal, it's part of the game for people to take profits, because at the end of the day, the reason why they're in the market, the reason why they are investing is because they want to make money. So for those who got at the IPO price and sold either at 4.5, at 3 plus, congratulations to them. For those who bought at 1.5 and sold early in the first 15 minutes, congratulations to them as well. For those who bought at 2.25 or at any point in the previous days, congratulations to them. Now, this is the full depth of orders now. Now you see something different. Yesterday, 2 days ago, and on the IPO date, you would notice that there wasn't any sellers. Now it's starting to look like how we normally see transactions. And just to note also, there's a large bid volume at the start, 2.75, number of orders, 378. Anyways, I wanted to show you this. This is the volume review from yesterday. You see that A large chunk of what was transacted was at 3.37, and you will see if you compare it today, you will notice that there's a large chunk of volume that shifted hands around 9% at the 4.5 peso level. 47 million worth of shares were done at that particular price. So please just do note that there were 3,530 trades that happened at the 4.5 level. I repeat, there were 4.5 up at the 4.5 peso level. There were 3,530 trades that happened there, and the volume traded was around 9+%. So again, those were the people who exited. Now, just to shift now, I just wanted to show you, this is a distribution uh, of where I think the bulk of the trades happened. If you notice it, it's around this entire middle area from the 2.8 level all the way up to the 2.9 level, or you can even put it to the 2.94 level. Other than that, from here, if you notice it, no, from 4.5 going down, there isn't much percentages anymore there. Most of the movement already right after the large drop could be seen from the 2.79 level all the way to the 2.91 level for the stock. Now let's continue. As what I've mentioned also throughout all of this, that this is pretty much a local. This is just driven by locals, similar to what we've seen from day one, day two, day three. The largest weights still all local: Timson, FMS, BPI Tower, BDO Nomura, Wealth, AAA, all local brokers. Sellers are also local: Call, Timson, FMS, Abacus, BPI, Unicap, AAA, Wealth. Again, no foreign institutions, kung meron man, very, very small, very negligible to the billions that were traded today. So there, couple of things that we're seeing. Large sell down, first 15 minutes. Those who bought earlier are the ones that are getting out, which, as what I've said, is normal and is part of the game. Now, this is the golden question. What should you do? What's the very, very thing that you should do if you are a stock market trader, an investor that's tracking MerryMart? And I'll say this over and over, please, regardless of where you are right now, do not panic, because when you panic, you will make wrong decisions. When you panic, and it's understandable naman because it's your money. It's something that you worked hard for. It's something that's why I keep saying this over and over. When you invest, you always invest an amount of money that tanggap nyo that if there's volatility, you won't get emotional and you won't panic. That's one of the biggest narratives that you should realize when you start investing in the stock market. It always has to be an amount of money that you do not plan to touch for the long term, or even if it drops, you won't be scared. You won't be sad. You'll be able to sleep well at night. So please, right now, this evening, while you're watching this video, please do not panic. Do not be reactive tomorrow, because if you be reactive, that's when you will start to lose, and that's when your emotions will start to kick in. So before you decide on something, make sure that you're relaxed. Make sure that you can decide not based on your emotions, but based on your logic. Now, that's why I've been hammering it over and over for the past days, that your trading plan is so important, because now is the best time for you to revisit your trading plan. Now is the best time for you, either if you're making money or you're losing money or you're still in the sidelines. If there's one thing that I'd like to point out in all of this is, go back to your trading plan. Go back. What are your parameters to buy? What are your parameters to sell? And what are your parameters to hold? That's why it's so important that your trading plan is written down, because if it's written down, it will allow you to somehow, some way know what you're supposed to do. And it has to be written down, because if it's written down, you just have to read it and see if you're supposed to take action. If your trading plan is telling you not to take action, even for tomorrow, my suggestion is then don't log in. Because if you log in, your emotions might push you to decide otherwise. But if your trading plan is telling you that tomorrow you must already transact, then by all means log in, slot in that price, put in that password, then transact, and then you're done. The sooner you remove your emotions and the more you rely on your trading plan, the stronger this will be for you. What else? If you own the stock, if you have owned the stock wrong, if you own the stock, walang have. If you own the stock only, sorry about that. If you own the stock, check your sell signals. If your sell signals are hit on the upside, take profits, sell. I repeat, if your sell signals have been hit, regardless of what they may be, from percentages to candlesticks, if it has been hit on the upside, take profits already. Huwag na kayo manghinayang. The biggest panghinayang ng tao is, sayang, dapat binenta ko ng 4.5. Hintayin ko na lang kaya, baka bumalik ulit ng 4.5 yan. Or bumalik kaya ng 3.25 yan. If they're already hit, sell already. I repeat, if they're already hit, sell. Huwag namang hinayang na hindi nyo siya nabenta ng 4.5 kanina. Huwag namang hinayang na hindi nyo nabenta 3.25 yesterday, because there's nothing you can do about that already. If your sell signals are hit, sell, transact, get out already. That's just it. Now, what if you're losing money and your sell signals are also hit? Same thing. Sell. Get out of that position, because your sell signals are telling you to sell. Your sell signals are telling you to get out. Your sell signals are telling you to get away from that stock already, even if it's at a loss. So that's why I've been saying it's more, the parameters for you to make the trade is more important than the stock that you're actually buying. So now, what if you're saying this, paano Marvin? Gain pa rin ako, pero bumaba na yung gain ko kasi hindi ako nakapagbenta, pero wala pa yung sell signal. Eh, di hold. Paano yan, Marvin? Down ako ngayon. Pero my sell signals have not been hit. And you hold also. You selling should not be predicated by the amount of money that you make. You selling should not be predicated on the amount of money that you lose. You selling is predicated if your sell signals have been hit. Now, comment below if you're learning. For people who have cash, either you're currently in the sidelines and have cash and are thinking of buying, or you're positioned also, but you also have cash, thinking about what your next move is. This is my suggestion. Go back to your buy signals. It's the same thing. Meaning, if it's lower now and your buy signals have been hit, by all means, buy. And I don't know what your buy signals are. We have 115,000 subscribers here, all having different buy signals, all having different parameters. That's why it's so important that you make your buy signals based on who you are, not who your friend is, or not based on what your friend's buy signals are. It has to be something that's unique to you. It has to be something that's that will work for you. So if your buy signals are hit, regardless if it dropped from 4.5 to 2.75, by all means, follow your plan and buy. Now, if it dropped to 2.75, but your buy signals have not yet been hit, by all means, even though it looks like a discount to you from 4.5, avoid, and you don't have to buy. You don't have to buy every time it drops. You only have to buy every time your buy signals have been hit. Another tip is this. I mentioned that do not chase stock prices, because that's the result of you chasing stock prices. If you chase stock prices, when people start to sell, then you get the blunt of all of the selling. And this is something that's important. If you bought because a friend told you to buy, if you bought because you saw your friend buying, now is the best time to avoid your friend. It's time that you learn to analyze on your own. If you need to learn and refocus and learn more about technicals and fundamentals, learning the valuations, learning everything, every nook and cranny about the market, then you have to do it. I hope that this is also a turning point, a lesson, regardless if you're making money or not making money, that no one will take care of your finances more than you. No one should be more adamant about transacting and trading more than you. It should be you. It's your money. It's your responsibility. And lastly, I think this is the last one. Do not decide out of emotion. That's why I said it at the start. Do not panic, because if you panic, you will decide out of emotion. And I hope you don't. And your emotions will keep on tugging you. The emotion of fear, because it dropped, and the emotion of greed, that okay na yan, 275, baka magta-10 pa yan. Diba? You rely on what you see based on your parameters, and I've been saying this over and over, hope is good, but it's not a buy signal. Do not buy based on your emotion. Buy based on your trading plan and your buy signals. Stick to your plan. That's what I always say. So that's what we talked about for this entire duration. Technicals, valuations, price action, and what should you do. I hope this gave you clarity, and I hope you are learning from all of this, because if you are, appreciate it if you could press the like button. Put a comment below if you guys have any other questions, because based on your comments, that's how I make the next set of videos. And if you want to learn more about this, down below, I have 5 books that you can order via Shopee. Down below, I have 2 courses online. One Tagalog course about the basics of the stock market with Chinkitan. One English investing and entrepreneurship course with Sean C. Link is in the description below. Then we have another Zoom session next week with Sean C. also, where we're going to talk about investments in the new normal. If you want to learn more about that, comment I want Sean C, and then I'll send you the link. And then I have other links below on my Patreon account for those who want to support me and this YouTube channel, for those who appreciates this. And then other links on for those who want to know how you can trade online. There's a link below. Just click it. It says US Markets. It's via eToro. The link is in the description. Then all of the other links below are the VPNs, my vlogging gear, and also McAfee virus scan. But they're all in the links. Just you can just click them and explore if you want to see all of the other things that are in the description. So I guess that's it. I'm glad that you guys are learning. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I appreciate it if you can subscribe and smash the bell so you get updated. So that's it for now. Again, similar to what I always do, comment below if you stayed until the end. So that's it for now. Marvin Germo. I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, guys, and God bless you all.